পরম করুণ পহু দুই জন নিতাই গৌর চন্দ্র পরম করুণ পহু দুই জন নিতাই গৌর চন্দ্র সবই অবতার সার শিরোমণি কেবলি আনন্দ কন্দ সবই অবতার সার শিরোমণি কেবল আনন্দ কন্দ সবই অবতার সার শিরোমণি কেবল আনন্দ কন্দ সবই অবতার সার শিরোমণি কেবলি আনন্দ পরম করুণা পহু দুই জন নিতাই গৌরচন্দ্র পরম করুণা পহু দুই জন চন্দ্র ভজ ভজ ভাই চৈতন্য নিতাই সুদৃঢ় বিশ্বাস করি 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 বিষয় ছাড়িয়া সেরাসে মজিয়া মুখে বল হরি হরি বিষয় ছাড়িয়া সেরাসে মজিয়া মুখে বল হরি বিষয় ছাড়িয়া সেরাসে মজিয়া মুখে বল হরি হরি বিষয় ছাড়িয়া সেরাসে মজিয়া মুখে বল হরি হরি দেখো রে ভাই ত্রিভুবনে নাই এমন দয়ালো দাতা দেখো রে ভাই ত্রিভুবনে এমন দয়ালো দাতা দেখো রে ভাই ত্রিভুবনে নাই এমন দয়ালো দাতা দেখো রে ভাই ত্রিভুবনে এমন দয়ালো দাতা পশু পাখি ঝুরে পাষাণ বিদারে শুনি যার গুণ গাথা পশু পাখি ঝুরে পাষাণ বিদারে শুনি যার গুণগাথা সব পশু পাখি ঝুরে পাষাণ বিদারে শুনি যার গুণ গাথা পশু পাখি ঝুরে পাষাণ বিদারে শুনি যার গুণ গাথা সংসারে মজিয়া রহিলি পড়িয়া সে পদে নহিল আশ সংসারে মজিয়া রহিলি পড়িয়া সে পদে নহিল সংসারে মজিয়া রহিলি পড়িয়া সে পদে নহিল আশ সংসারে মজিয়া রহিলি পড়িয়া সে পদে নহিল আশ আপন কর্ম ভঞ্জাই সামন कहल चन दास आपन करम भंजाई समन कहल चन आपन करम भंजाई समन कहल चन दास भंजाई समन कहल चन दास परम करुणा बहु दुई जन निताय गौर चंद्र 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 सब अवतार सार शिरोमणि केवली आनंद कंद सब अवतार सार शिरोमणि केवली आनंद कंद सब अवतार सार शिरोमणि केवली आनंद कंद सब अवतार सार शिरोमणि केवल आनंद कंद परम करुणा बहु दुई जन निताय गौर चंद्र परम करुणा बहु दुई जन निताय गौर चंद्र हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Hare
Rama Hare Rama
Rama Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Nitai Gaurango Nitai Gaurango Nitai Gaurango Nitai Gaurango Nitai Gaurango Jaya Nitai Gaurango Nitai Gaurango Jaya Dayal Nitai Gaurango Nitai Gaurango Nitai Gaurango Dayal Nitai Gaurango Nitai Gaurango, Nitai Gaurango,
Nitai Gaurango,
Nitai Gaurango Jaya, Nitai Gaurango, Nitai Gaurango Jaya, Nitai Gaurango, Jaya Nitai Gaurango Jaya, Nitai Gaurango, Nitai
Gaurango Jaya, Nitai Gaurango.
Radha Madan Mohan, Radha Madan Mohan, Radha Madan Mohan, Sri Radhe, Radha Madan Mohan, Radha Madan Mohan, Radha Madan Mohan, Sri Radhe. Jaya Radha Madan Mohan, Radha Madan Mohan, Radha Madan Mohan, Sri Radhe, Radha Madan Mohan, Radha Madan Mohan, Radha Madan Mohan, Sri Radhe. Radha Govinda, Radha Govinda, Radha Govinda, Sri Radhe. Radha Govinda, Radha Govinda, Radha Govinda, Jai Radha Govinda, Radha Govinda, Radha Govinda, Sri Radhe. Radha Govinda, Radha Govinda, Radha Govinda, Sri Jaya Radha Govinda, Radha Govinda, Radha Govinda, Sri Radhe. Radha Govinda,
Radha Govinda,
Radha Govinda, Sri Radhe. Radha Gopinath, Radha Gopinath, Radha Gopinath, Sri Radhe. Radha Gopinath, Radha Gopinath, Radha Gopinath, Sri Radhe. Jai Radha Gopinath, Radha Gopinath, Radha Gopinath, Sri Radhe. Radha Gopinath, Jai Radha Gopinath, Radha Gopinath, Radha Gopinath, Sri Radhe.
Gopinath, Radha Gopinath, Radha Gopinath, Sri Radhe.
Jai Radha Madan Mohan, Radha Madan Mohan, Radha Madan Mohan, Sri Radhe. Radha Madan Mohan, Radha Madan Mohan, Radha Madan Mohan, Sri Radhe. Jai Radha Madan Mohan, Radha Madan Mohan, Radha Madan Mohan, Sri Radhe.
Radha Madan Mohan, Radha Madan Mohan, Radha Madan Mohan, Sri Radhe.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura
Hari Bol Hari Bol
Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Nitai
Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai
Dayal Nitai Gaura Premanandi Hari Hari Bol Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Juta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavangscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatha Nitam Tang Sajivam Sadaitam Sabadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakhanitangscha Namo Yong Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutali Simate Bhakti Rakshaka Sridhara Swami Namini Tunga Nitta Siddha Krishna Bhava Bhakti Rakshakam Sridharam Subhakti Sindhu Shuddha Bhakta Banditam Krishna Radhika Sukhavidhi Gaura Bhakti Sundaram Sridharam Bhajami Bhakti Rakshakam Chiraprabhum Namo Yong Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutali Simate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Niti Namini Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatto Deshatarini Namo Yong Vishnu Padaya Gaura Presthaya Bhutali Simad Bhakti Pramodaya Purigoswami Namini Dibbajnana Pradatrecha Prabhavi Janma Janmani Jnana Vairagya Devaya Jnana Vairagya Dehaya Shastra Siddhanta Samvidi पतितानां समुद्धारे जतिवेशधराय वै प्रचाराचारकार्ये च जागरूकाय सर्वदा चतोद्धवस्सा कुमाराद् भगवदर्चने रति वैष्णवानां सर्वकृत्ये दक्षता परमा तथा नमो यों विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिसिद्धान्त सरस्वतीति नामिने श्रीवासभानवी देवी दयिताय कृपाविधये कृष्ण सम्बन्ध विज्ञान दायिने प्रभवे नमः माधुर्योज्जल प्रेमढ्ढ श्रीरूपानुगभक्तिद श्रीगौर करुणा शक्ति विग्रहाय नमस्तुते नमस्ते गौरवाणी श्रीमूर्तये दीनतारिणे रूपानुग विरुद्ध अपसिद्धान्त धन्तहारिणे गौरांगैकगति व्रजाश्रितमति श्रीगौरधाम स्थिति सच्छास्त्रैकवृत्ति कुसंगविरतिर्दुष्टव्यथा निष्कृति श्रीरूपैकरति सनातननति श्रीजीवतेजस्तति श्रीसिद्धान्त सरस्वती विजयति गौरीय गोष्ठीपति कृपया हरिकीर्तन मूर्तिधरं कृपया हरिकीर्तन मूर्तिधरं धरणीभरहारक गौरजनं जनकाधिकवत्सल स्निग्धपदं जनकाधिकवत्सल स्निग्धपदं प्रणमामि सदा प्रभु पादपदम् प्रणमामि सदा प्रभु पादपदं प्रणमामि सदा प्रभु पादपदम् वन्दे गुरुनीश भक्तानीश मीशावतारकान् तत्प्रकाशांश्च तच्छक्ति कृष्ण चैतन्य संगकं वञ्चाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Any special query from any dimensions of spirituality, from any levels of divine consciousness, divine world? I'm inviting question. Are you okay sitting on the floor, or you can sit on the mat? Prabhu, धन्यवाद. Srila Shukadev, King Parikshit Maharaj was a big, vast lake of many queries. Srila King Parikshita was a paragon of many honest, beneficial queries through which Srimad Bhagavatam manifested. We find many holy scriptures, holy texts, which actually manifested through question and answering programs, through the flow of beautiful, wonderful questions, beneficial questions and answers. We have got a trend. I've got such a spiritual trend. Okay, so let us continue with that trend, following in their footsteps. Yes, please.
Maharaj, recently I heard, this is from Srimad Bhagavatam, where Kardama Muni asks Lord Kapila, his son, that to give him the boon of going to the forest, so that to become to renounce family life and go to the forest and meditate on the Supreme Lord. But I'm surprised that, knowing that Lord Kapila Dev is the Supreme Personality himself, yet now he has the opportunity to associate with the Supreme Personality at home as his son, but he's asking the boon to go to the forest to meditate on the Supreme Lord. And in the purport, Srila Prabhupada said that the scriptures that even if the Supreme Personality of Godhead is in your home, you still have to follow the injunctions of the Shastra, which is after a certain age you have to leave them. So it was quite bewildering for me that, I can't reconcile the fact that you know that this is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He's at home now, and yet you're going out to leaving.
Very nice question. Cutely nice and beneficial question. Precisely, the whole thing, whole truth there has to be understood in the sense of Leela. I repeat. Precisely, this whole matter, whole thing has to be understood, okay, in the form of some sweet Leela. So, Kardama Muni, even being the father of Kapila, asked the blessings of his son to go to the forest. Yes? Even though the Lord's Son, Supreme Lord, was there as the son in the home. Okay? So why he wanted to go away from his own Supreme Lord's Son? Yes? And go to the forest, while Kardama Rishi was asking for the blessings and permission from his son, who is none other than Supreme Lord. Okay, to go away from him and meditate on the forest. For some reason or other, I have to see that portion of the description. Lord Kapila Muni also sometimes went to the forest, yes, and meditated. Such description also there. Therefore, see, some connection is coming. Both actually also went to forest and meditated on. So who is asking permission of who? Who want to? So that connection came. Because in those days, the very culture was to be engaging in worshipping of the Supreme Lord, being in householder life, being in bhajana kutir, also going out in the forest, sitting under a tree or anywhere without bhajana kutir, and be absorbed in meditation. Both ways, tapasya, meditating or worshipping Supreme Lord, being in the bhajana kutir, in tapovana, in the forest, as well as they are also going out of that bhajana kutir, which is also situated in the forest, going out, open in the nature, and sitting in the lap of nature, meditating on the Supreme Lord, the source, the origin of all this beautiful, wonderful nature. Nature also not considered as different from, separate from Supreme Lord through non-difference. But nature is also known to be another aspect of the manifestations of the Supreme, Universal, Infinite divine truth, Supreme Lord. So therefore, people during those time, great Muni Rishis like Kardama Rishi also was going out, in the open nature, also to be relating to the different, another aspect of the Supreme Lord, in the nature. Because in non-different way, number one. Number two, that in the householder life, such injunctions, what Srila Swami Prabhupada also clearly mentioned, because there are these holy scriptural injunctions, for all those different 4 stages of the life of brahmacharyam, the stage of brahmacharyam, then stage of garhastham. So after brahmacharyam, then garhastha, then vanaprastha, then sannyasa. So there are 4 stages of the ideal life have been recommended through the Holy Scripture, through the Mahajanas, ultimately by Supreme Lord, because Vedic knowledge, the knowledge coming through, manifesting through Veda, Vedanta, Upanishad, other holy scriptures, and none other than finally is coming from the Supreme Lord. We know the knowledge, the knowledge of the all Vedic scriptures, ultimately coming from the Supreme Lord through different paths, through the paths of realization of the great souls, great devotees, through himself directly, also through the teachings, different teachings of from the nature. I'm coming to the point to the answer of main question, because in order to answer your question, the background work must be done first. Why Kardama Rishi went away, asked for the blessings from Lord Kapila to go to the forest. So, in order to explain to us, establish this example, teach us that the nature, the universe is also another aspect of the Supreme Lord. Supreme Lord means Jagannatha, the Lord of the universe. So the forest, river, forest, another aspect of the Supreme Lord, in which we have been recommended to be going out and sitting and absorb in meditation, worshipping the Supreme Lord in connection with the nature. That's what many Vedic rishis did it, not one or two. Even Shukadev Goswami, Vyasadeva, they also lived in the forest. They are Navayogendras. So great, devoted Muni Rishi yogis always they preferred to go out in the forest, in the lap of nature, where they absorbed in the meditation and worshipping, adorations, cultivations of their life divine in relation to the Supreme Lord, in connection with whole nature, fresh wind, fresh light, sunlight, fresh river water, trees, Mother Earth, space, everything. And they also already composed beautiful hymns, we find, filled with adoration, loving adoration of the Supreme Lord, because those hymns are being offered to the Supreme Lord. but those beautiful hymns are inspired by the natural beauty, by the inspired through the wonderful aspects of the nature, life-saving, life-maintaining, life-sustaining nature aspect of the Supreme Lord. Therefore, they actually found, felt, realized the omniscient, omnipresent existence. I repeat, they realized the omnipresence of the Supreme Lord throughout the whole nature. They didn't relate to the nature just simply in a material objective way, but rather higher subjective spiritual ways, feeling the presence of the same Supreme Lord all over, pervading all over, nature or universe, and relating to the Supreme Lord in connection with the nature, or relating to the nature, directly relating to the nature, connecting to the nature in high-class spiritual divine way, in divine consciousness, as non-different manifestation of the Supreme Lord. Like another deity form, another aspect, another form of manifestation of the same Supreme Lord in the form of nature. So they never related to the nature again in a just materially objective way as a material world. To them it was not just material world. So now, to mean that, to give that message to everyone, that Supreme Lord is the Lord of universe, Lord of whole nature, so it is also a necessity for everyone, for this great spiritualist, great devotees also, to go out of the home, go out of the residence, and be in the lap of nature, open, feel into the openness, vast panoramic beauty, and vast panoramic beauty, majestic beauty, some spiritual energy flowing through wind, air, sunlight, ocean, river, soil, all being. Feel into that aspect of the Supreme Lord. Be sheltered into that and happily engage in worshipping the same Supreme Lord. Lord Jagannatha, Natha of Jagata, Jagannatha. So to give that clear message to everyone, Kardama Rishi wanted to practice himself, to establish, to set that example for others benefits through his own practice. Just as Sriman Mahaprabhu did, Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did. He taught other devotees, he taught all other people by his own practices and conduct in many ways. Not every places, but in many ways. So it is a necessity in the spiritual world, in the world of spiritual cultivations, to be teaching others with his own example, to be inspiring others with his own examples, own practices. Aponi achori dharmo jivere shikhai. By practicing himself certain codes and conducts, certain systems of cultivation of Krishna conscious life, Mahaprabhu taught the other jiva souls how to do sadhana, how to engage in sadhana. So this is one purpose. Kardama Rishi also had the similar purpose in that way. Although he knew that his son Kapila was none other than Supreme Lord. Supreme Lord in the sense, the extended self of the Supreme Lord Krishna. Kapila was not supreme, he was not exactly directly this Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. He was not Swayam Bhagavan. Swayam Bhagavan is only Krishna, one without second. But Kapila Muni was the direct extension or incarnation of that, from that Swayam Bhagavan Krishna. So, why I am explaining this? So Kardama Rishi also knew that he was not in connection with the Swayam Bhagavan in his house, an incarnation, direct incarnation of the Swayam Bhagavan Krishna. Okay. So now, the second thing, Kardama Rishi was also inspired by Kapila to have that feeling in her to go out and engage in worshipping in the forest. Okay. So it was not just only Kardama Rishi was asking on his own, but he got that inspiration from the level of his own Chaitya Guru, super soul, who was none other than Kapila Muni, to be asking blessings from his Supreme Lord Son to go out in the forest and engage. The second reason, to teach this example, in order to inspire others to follow these examples, then no matter how advanced you are, but you should not be staying at home. The Brahmacharya stage should be educated through system of Gurukula, should be in the Brahmacharya stage of life, you should be living that quality of life befitting to the Brahmacharya ashram. Again, that is also living in the forest or Gurukula under the guidance of Sri Gurudev, in the lap of nature, and practicing Brahmacharyam. Thereafter, after accumulating great potency and power of the Brahmacharyam, then enter into the family life, Garastha life, householder life. Then thereafter, after doing all the duties, observing all the duties, taking care of all the duties of your householder life, at some point you have to go out, Vanaprastha. Accept Vanaprastha life, then Sannyasa. So the necessity of Vanaprastha and Sannyasa, ashrama, are still there. That's what Srila Swami Prabhupada meaning scriptural injunctions. The kind of scriptural injunctions Kardama Rishi was following was that he has already done the duty of his Garastha life, Garastha ashrama. Now it is the time for him to be observing, to following Vanaprastha. Vanaprastha ashrama and sannyasa. At some point, those householder life devotees in householder life needed to be accepting Vanaprastha, Vanachari, and then sannyasa, as per Vedic injunctions. So, Kapila Muni wanted to set that example, wanted to teach the whole world, other jiva souls, through his father, by inspiring her father to be approaching him to take blessings from Supreme Lord Son, to permission to go to the forest. Generally, father doesn't take permission from the son. Here it is an exceptional case. Again, it's Leela aspect also coming. Very exceptional, special case, that because he knew, Kardama Rishi knew Kapila Muni to be son, but Supreme Lord Son. So therefore, generally, son takes the blessings of father, takes permission from father. But here, father taking permission and blessings from his Supreme Lord Son. Again, father is doing it primarily and principally, essentially, okay, more when we view it more esoteric way, esoteric sense, then Father being directly inspired by his Supreme Lord Son to approach his son in such a way to take the blessings, to go to the forest, to engage in further devotional worships of the Supreme Lord. And number 2, Kardama Rishi on himself also. I'm coming to the point of your answer. You are thinking. Sakshi Gopal Prabhu also thinking when Maharaj will come to the point of direct answer. Still I am doing the groundwork. So, also Kardama Rishi on himself setting up the good examples of these 4 stages of the life. I also need to explain in the first place why Srila Swami Prabhupada mentioned in the purport following the scriptural injunctions. If I do not explain that part, then my explanation answer will be incomplete. Why? Because when he mentions in his purport, he is simply following the scriptural injunctions, there is a meaning, purpose for that. And I am explaining around that, into that purpose. The Kardama Rishi was also, he was well aware of the facts that he was also required, he was also needed to set good examples for others, before the whole world. That after Garastha life, after completing the duties of Garastha life, one should go out, to live more Vanaprastha life in the forest, even if he has got his son, Supreme Lord, even if that, but still for the sake of, because every time society is not going to have son, as Supreme Lord, it is an exceptional special case for Kardama Rishi and Devahuti. Okay? Father Kardama Rishi, Mother Devahuti. So a special case. Everybody is not going to receive such special chance and special opportunity to stay in the house and worship Supreme Lord Son instead of going out. So what Kardama Rishi was doing, the way Kapila Muni was inspiring his father. Okay, father means in the sense of Leela. Otherwise, nobody can be father or mother of this Supreme Lord. Okay, so it is also another Leela that he accepted Kardama Rishi Devahuti as father and mother. So, in the sense of Leela, not in the sense of Tattva. Supreme Tattva means Supreme Lord is unborn, uncreated, self-born. Yes? That is the Tattva. So when Supreme Lord is none other than this Supreme, the same Supreme Being, Divine Being, without a second, then simply is unborn, uncreated. He is the origin of all. Nobody can be the origin of him. So, that is Tattva. Therefore, because he is the source of everything, Karan of all Karan, cause of all causes, origin of everything. So, self-born in eternity. Conception of being self-born also to be understood without beginning. Also, anyway, I'm just explaining all this in the connection. Getting a little diverted from the main stream of answering. So, Kardama Rishi also knew, well aware of doing his duty through his own life conduct, own life examples, that even if he had his Supreme Lord Son in his house, but still it is his duty to set up, to establish further, okay, to inspire others to be following life of Vanaprastha after completing the duty within certain age limit. After completing the duties of the householder life, one must go out to live the Banaprastha life, and living the Banaprastha means going out in the forest. Banaprastha. Okay, from Banaprastha. So living in the forest, away from any attachment, all the material attachments, householder attachments. Okay, going there. So he was needed to set that example with his own practice. He did that. And then sannyasa life was the next, although it was not mentioned there. So, why he did? Because such rules and regulations and such four kinds of ashramas, also created by the same Supreme Lord in another form, Kapila, to honor that which has already been created by the Supreme Lord, which has been arranged by none other than Supreme Lord, finally, and to show his full respect to the arrangement made by the Supreme Lord in the form of, through Vedic, Shastras. What is that arrangement? Human beings must be living 4 stages of life in order to become ideally spiritualist, in order to become pure divines, to become purely divine, purely devoted, must be following these 4 stages of brahmacharya, garastha, vanaprastha, sannyas. So what Kardama Rishi was doing, simply nothing other than recognizing, upholding, promoting, most respectfully promoting the same truth, same principles created by Lord Kapila, Supreme Lord, in other words, finally. So, respecting, highly respecting, honoring, promoting, upholding something which is created by the Supreme Lord, ideals and principles created by the Supreme Lord, means also in another way worshipping the same Supreme Lord, according to the necessity, according to the needs of time, place, situation, environment. If he was, now coming directly to the answer of your question, if Kardama Rishi would be living in her bhajana kuti or residence with his Supreme Lord's son, so it was so beneficial, he knew it was highly beneficial for himself, his wife, Devahuti. He truly didn't really need to go away from the residence, go away in the forest, to meditate on the Supreme Lord, worship the Supreme Lord. True, he has already got Supreme Lord so close to him, in his residence. Why should he go? So that could not be the reason, that he was going away from his Supreme Lord's son to look for Supreme Lord, to be again looking for, searching after the same Supreme Lord. It doesn't make sense that way. So your question, your query is very valid. It doesn't make sense that way. It will be bewildering. But it makes sense in other ways, that when we understand for the necessity of creating such examples, for the benefits for others in the society who were not being facilitated with such greatest fortune of having the Supreme Lord as their son. So they should go out at some point. It was not necessarily for Kardama Rishi himself. That was not being needed for Kardama Rishi himself to go away from the house, from the Supreme Lord to search after Supreme, not for himself, for his own need, but it was for others' need, for the beneficial needs, for bringing up the higher benefits to other conditioned jiva souls. setting example before them so that at some point they live the material householder life and accept the life of Vanaprastha, going to the forest and fully engage in loving worships, devotional worships to the Supreme Lord through meditation or through other devotional services, even through chanting, singing the glories, through beautiful hymns and mantras, various ways. So that was essential for all the Jiva souls or the ideal human beings to follow that. Okay, live householder life. So Kardama Rishi also wanted to be following that scriptural injunction, recommendation, okay, instruction, which are none other than Lord's instruction. Same Lord Kapila's instruction in different form, a different time, place, situation, different form. So, in other words, it was also sanctioned by Lord Kapila. So, he naturally felt inspired, or he was being directly now inspired by his son to approach his son and take the blessings, take the permission in special way, exceptional way, not in general way. It's a special case there. Having the Supreme Lord's Son is right in his house and he has to go away now. Okay? He has to go now away to be teaching the examples, to establish the examples to teach others, for the benefits of others, not for the benefits of his own and himself. Okay? So this is the fact. And he himself was doing his holy duty to set that example before others, asking the permission from his Supreme Lord's Son. If his son would not be Supreme Lord, he would not be asking permission and blessings. Okay, he would just go on his own. But because he has got his son as Supreme Lord, so therefore it's an exceptional situation. He approached him to be asking his permission and blessings, okay, to go. Meaning that he himself didn't want to go away from his Supreme Lord's Son. He was not being dishonoring to his own Supreme Lord's Son. Okay? I repeat, in no way he was meaning to be disrespectful or dishonoring in relation to his Supreme Lord's Son Kapila. Okay, just to do his duty because it ought to be done on principle. So he doesn't care about taking any permission or taking any blessings. Why he should? Because he is just doing his duties sanctioned by the Holy Scripture. But because he knew the special situation, he knew his son is none other than Supreme Lord. So therefore, he gave full respect to that fact. He gave full respect, okay, to that fact, or he was fully respectful with that fact that his son is Supreme Lord. In this exceptional, special situation, he cannot just act independently, but submissively. So by approaching his Supreme Lord's Son in such a submissive, devoted way, asking permission and taking the blessings to do his duty, like Arjuna doing his duty in the Kurukshetra war field. Okay. Otherwise, fighting is not the highest thing of life. It's not the very highest appreciable thing in life. But still, in order to protect the good against the evil, Arjuna had to do duty under Krishna's instructions. Similarly, under Lord's instruction in the form of scriptural injunctions, following the scriptural injunctions, Kardama Rishi was also being prompted from within to do that duty. But he did not do it directly, independent way. So, he, with full respect, giving full honor, full respect, he connected. He related to his Supreme Lord's Son, asked for his permission, blessings, in thereby meaning to him, my Lord, O my Son Lord, my Lord, I am not really going away from you. So in heart, at his heart, inside his heart, he never went away from Lord Kapila. Okay? Meaning to him, I am yours. I am belonging to you. I am your disciple. I am your son. You are my father. So therefore, for that reason, some connection got mixed in my previous way of explanation, some way, that Kardama Rishi, although outwardly, okay, family-wise, biological family-wise, normally, Kardama Rishi was the father and Lord Kapila was son. Devahuti was the mother, Lord Kapila was the son. But in some way, on some other dimensions of their experience, their realization, some other higher dimension, spiritual dimension, Kardama Rishi was feeling, was considering himself like Kapila's son. Supreme Lord Kapila's Jagat Pita, Jagannatha, is a Supreme Father. Ultimately by Tattva, his Supreme Father. And everybody is Supreme Father's children. Sinnantu Vishwe Amritasya Putra. Amritasya Putra. All are finally the children of the Supreme Ambrosial Divine Truth. Supreme Absolute Divine Truth. So in that way, like the same way, the Raghunandan Thakur and his son, father. So, some way, Kardama Rishi was seeing himself, feeling himself as the son, like the son of Lord Kapila. Lord Kapila being Supreme Lord, the father of all. How could he be his father, father of Supreme Lord? So, feeling into that position, rather Kapila Muni was father, his guardian, and Kardama Rishi was son, in son's position. So being situated in that mood and in that temperament, in that feelings, he was approaching apparently Supreme Lord's son, but approaching with the feelings of approaching a father, highest divine father, to accept permission from the Supreme Guardian and Supreme Father, okay, and accepting blessings. After taking permission and taking the blessings, okay, empowered with his blessings, then he wanted to go to the forest, not without it. Now, what it means, what it says, while he was approaching his Supreme Lord's son, being situated with some feelings like he was approaching Supreme Guardian, his father even. Okay, although Supreme Lord's son appeared as son, but actually his guardian, his Supreme Divine Guardian, Father. So with that mood, he was approaching with that sublimely submissive temperament, feelings, to be accepting permission and blessings. But if he would really feel about himself as real father and guardian of Supreme Lord's son, he would not approach in that way. It becomes self-contradictory. Why he should approach to son for blessings? He knows well what to do. He knew well what to be done, what is his duty. Why should he be asking for permission and moreover that blessings from his own child, son? It doesn't make sense in that way. Unless he was already situated in that mood, temperament. Although Supreme Lord appeared as my son, but actually he is my father. He is my real guardian. I am his son. Okay? He just accepted Leela. He willingly accepted me as father to satisfy that aspect of his Leela. But actually, in fact, in truth, he is the Supreme Father, Supreme Guardian. So he was situated in that position and mood. Therefore, he could approach him, approach him with such submissive way, so submissive way to take permission, humbly taking permission, humbly taking blessings from his Supreme Guardian, from his own real Father, although appearing as his son, Supreme Lord's son. But he was considering him. At that point, at that stage, he was actually considering him to be his father, to be his guardian. Supreme Lord means Supreme Father, Supreme Guardian. Ultimately, by Tattva, nobody can be his father or guardian. He is Supreme Guru, Supreme Father, Supreme Guardian. So, and by the way of his approach, he already gave message. He already relayed, conveyed to the Supreme Lord, to his Supreme Lord. What he conveyed? I am not actually going away, my Lord. It's like when sometimes Gurudev sends his disciples apparently away from him, with his service responsibility, certain kind of very important services, devotional services, telling, it is not important for you to be staying all the time around me physically. I repeat, it's not important for you to be always be staying in close association, physical association with me, around me. It is more important for you to carry out my order. To carry out my order, fulfill my desire. So this is my specific desire, expectation from you, that you do this service. If it requires for you to physically go away from me, but actually you will be staying close with me, in my close association, by fulfilling my order, by carrying out my order, by fulfilling my desire of certain special service of the Lord. So while you engage, you nicely take care of that special devotional service to the Lord, what I really want you to do, then actually you are remaining close to me, close to my heart, closely connected with me through fulfilling my desire, carrying out my order, fulfilling the higher needs of service. So although apparently it looks like disciple is going away from Guru, Gurudev is sending his disciples away, but it's not really sending away. Disciples not being away from Guru, Guru are not being away from disciple, Guru also not sending his disciple away. Rather, to keep the disciple in close connection, close relation spiritually, while disciple is following the order of Sri Guru, fulfilling the desire, engaging the special devotional service to the Lord, which is so dear to the heart of Sri Gurudev, and while disciple is engaging to fulfill that desire, disciple is actually staying, becoming very close, living very close to the heart of Guru. Close to that is real association, spiritual association, remaining very close to the, but through devotional spirit, love spirit, relational, in a relational way. Physical distance is no distance. Similar way, although Kardama Rishi was apparently externally going away from Lord Kapila, his son, or Kapila Muni, like inspiring his father, he prompted that desire in the heart of his father, inspired him to go away from him physically to do the meditation and worshipping in forest. But yet, Kardama Rishi was also factually he was not going away, and Kapila Muni was also not sending his father away, spiritually away, because Kardama Rishi was being engaged in that service of the Lord by apparently going away, engaging in Vanaprastha life, setting that example of practicing Vanaprastha life, going out in the forest and away from householder life, even if Supreme Lord was there as the sun. Okay. And at some point they might have met each other in the forest also. Kapila Muni and Father Kardama Rishi. Okay. They met each other, united with. So he was not really going away, although it was looking like Kardama Rishi was going away from his Supreme Lord's son to search after Supreme Lord in the forest. Well, Supreme Lord himself is there in front of his eyes, but he was actually being sent by. Although apparently looking like Kardama Rishi was approaching for permission and blessings to go away on his own, but it was internally, fact is that it was internally being directly inspired by Kapila Dev, Bhagavan Kapila, in the heart of his father, to apparently go away in order to fulfill some better purpose, some higher purpose which would be more beneficial for everybody, all the Jiva souls. Okay, in that way, higher purpose or beneficial purpose. Not personally in relation to his father, because if Father Kardama Rishi would be staying close to Kapila, that could be more beneficial. It would be more intimate, more beneficial. So, that way, so personally, with regard to him, Kardama Rishi, personally with regard to his individual self, he was not required at all to go away from, Lord Kapila, his son, right there. He should have been engaged. And he was already engaged in that, in relating to his Supreme Lord's son. Before he asked that permission and blessings to go out, he was already engaged in that worshipping. And he could have remained engaged in that most devotional worship, adorations, lifelong. So for himself, for his own benefit, on individual benefits, individual divine gain, on highest individual benefits, he never needed to go away, to forest to again look for same Supreme Lord, search after. It doesn't make sense. So it was not that. But why Kardama Rishi did that? For the benefits of others. Sometimes even Supreme Lord also comes down to the level, for the benefits of others, that he starts practicing same things through his own examples, through his own, activities and conducts, creating all the examples, establishing the examples, setting the examples by his own practices, giving the message, see, I am Supreme Lord, I am Supreme God, I am not obliged to be doing things like you all do, you all need to do. I am not really obliged to be taking care of the things involved in the activities like you all need to be doing, you all ought to be doing. But still, although I am fully liberated from all this relative, although I am fully liberated from the obligations of doing all such relative duties to maintain creations and for teaching you all, but still I am doing in order to be educating, teaching you all, and I am doing it to inspire you all, even so that to sustain and maintain the creation, the lives in a nice way, so that you all also become inspired, seeing even our Supreme Lord also doing these duties. So we must do. If the Supreme Lord can be doing all these duties with His own examples, who are we? Why should we be lazy? Why should we not be doing all these duties for our great benefits? What our Supreme Lord, who doesn't need, who is not at all obliged to do like this, work out like this, still doing out of mercy, out of His grace and kindness, He is also even practicing those to teach us, educate us, inspire us, to be engaged in such a way. It's a signature token of His grace for us, gracious consideration, teaching by His own example. So there lies one of the noble qualities of the Supreme Lord, who is not supposed, who is totally transcendental, who is fully liberated, ever transcendental, to be doing all these worldly duties, all these duties of brahmacharya, garastha, banaprastha, sannyasa life. Therefore devotees cannot appreciate Mahaprabhu's sannyasa life. He did not really need to do that, to take so much painstaking austerity and life of renunciation. But He did it out of His kindness, out of His kind considerations, out of His great merciful character. He did it to give message to all the conditioned souls, to teach them with His own example. See, I am also doing for you, for the benefits. Please, you also should all be following. Please, you also do it to a similar way for your great benefits, higher divine benefits. Look, I am also doing. So inspiring them, educating them with His own examples, like the great teachers do. Yes, great guardians, great teachers also do. Great guardians do in a similar way in our family life. Children learn watching their guardians, parents. Teachers also do in the school, colleges. What they teach, ideal teachers normally follow that, what they teach, the higher principles, higher ideals. So examples become better than precepts, they say. Here's the same case. A teacher can be speaking so many things. A teacher can be explaining so elaborately, so nicely by words, by the precepts. But when the same teacher teaches the students through the examples, his own examples, giving them message, I am not hypocrite. I am also being very honest. So I am very sincere. What I am teaching you, I am also following, practicing. I am very honest. I am also very truthful. You also should become that. Although, like training masters often do, they don't always need to engage in strenuous training because they have already passed that period stage and they already became commander, training master. But in order to teach the students, they come down to the level of practicing karate, kung fu, or exercise, yogic exercise with them, like as one of them. To be teaching them, inspiring them, not only by their precepts, but by their examples. Here is the same case. So this has to be understood from the Lila consideration aspect, also Siddhanta consideration aspect. The way I started explaining, some way, it flowed through me like that. Kapila Rishi was Kapila Muni father, Kardama Rishi's son. So, because it was connected there. There's some spiritual connections where at some point Kardama Rishi started feeling about himself as his son's son, his Lord Kapila's son. And Kapila Muni, his father. He was the real guardian. And that's why, because of that feelings and realization, he was approaching Supreme Lord Son Kapila, actually approaching as his guardian, as his father figure, not as his son, because no father, no guardian can be seeking any blessings from his son, or can be asking for permission. So it can become self-contradictory in that way. Okay. So he was actually having that feelings. Realization that his son became father and his father became son. And therefore he was asking for blessings. The way a son is asking for the blessings from his guardian, from his father or mother. Blessings. Blessings because he knew Supreme Lord, and Lord Kapila was Supreme Lord, and Supreme Lord means Supreme Father. Supreme Mother, Tameva Mata cha Pita cha Meva, Tameva Bandhus cha Shakha Tameva, you are my Supreme Father, Mother, friend, everything. Being Supreme Guru. Just as son of Achyutananda said to Mahaprabhu, what did you say? Lord Chaitanya has Guru. He is Vishwa Guru. He is the Lord Guru of the universe. And you said, Lord Chaitanya had Guru, Keshav Bharati, Guru? How could you say that, my father? Young Achyutananda. While Advaita Acharya was introducing about Mahaprabhu more in a formal, social way to others, the Mahaprabhu took sannyasa from, he had a guru and all. The naked young naked boy, Achyutananda was playing around. As soon as he heard his father saying that Lord Chaitanya had a guru in the form of Keshav Bharati, he came running to his father telling, Father, what did you say? You said Lord Chaitanya has guru? We all know. You already taught us, you already told us, because that Achyutananda was already educated by his own father, that Lord Chaitanya is supreme guru. Nobody can be his guru. He cannot have any guru because he himself is supreme guru. So now the son came running to his father telling, what are you telling that person? Lord Chaitanya has got guru. He is supreme guru. Why are you telling? What are you telling my father? It's not okay. Saying that Lord Chaitanya had a guru in the form of Keshav Bharati. No. Then Advaita Acharya looked at his son so graciously, full of love. And he felt overwhelmed, some happiness by hearing those real words, great words from his son. True. Oh, it's very true. Factually, Chaitanya has no guru. He is the guru of all. How Keshav Bharati can be guru of Lord Chaitanya? But he was just smilingly trying to make understand his son. I was just socially speaking, doing some socialization with others. So just socially speaking, that is a lila sense. That Lord Chaitanya accepted initiation from Keshav Bharati. Keshav Bharati was sannyasa guru of Lord Chaitanya, like that. Here also, both aspects are involved, between divine son and divine father, divine parent. So now they are also being converted, of being father and son of each other, also playing the role. Divine son, see, divine father becoming divine son of that divine father becoming the son of his son, Supreme Lord's son, also Supreme Lord playing the Leela role. His Supreme Father basically playing the role of the son of Kardama Rishi and Devahati. So both aspects of Leela involved. So while we look into the truth, understand truth, bearing in mind both aspects, then we can properly understand this. Otherwise it will look like self-contradictory. It is true, confusing. how father is asking permission and blessings from his son in the first place. Okay, fine, because he already knew that Kapila Muni, his son, is Supreme Lord, therefore. But what is the real mood, real temperament of Kardama Rishi while asking for the blessings and permission from Kapila Muni? Was he doing it as his son? No. At that time he was viewing it, feeling as Supreme Lord. And therefore Supreme Lord means his Supreme Father, Supreme Guardian. And therefore he was approaching for asking permission and blessings. If he still really related to him as his son, he cannot approach for asking permission and blessings. Okay. So at that moment he was viewing his son as his father, his guardian figure. Just as Vasudeva also did the same with Krishna. Garbhastuti. Vasudeva, Devaki, we find the similar situation, similar position before and after Lord Krishna's divine birth, appearance. So while they are offering praises, great praises one after another, Vasudeva, Mata Devaki, they're doing it, feeling him, realizing him as Supreme Lord, isn't it? And they were offering all these whole high praises, knowing Krishna as Lord Narayana, Supreme Lord, who is going to be appeared as their beautiful, sweet, little beautiful son. But they, at certain stage, they are well aware. They are well aware that it is Supreme Lord going to be appearing as their son. But then at some point, by the influence of Yogamaya, it was all made forgotten, Leela started. But just before that, before the appearance of Krishna, see what kind of great stabas they did. They offered some great, opulent stabas. How do you say staba? Means hymns, instantly composed hymns in praise, high praise of the High Lord, Supreme Lord. And when they praised, when they expressed beautiful hymns in praise, describing the glories of Lord Narayana, Lord Krishna, Lord Narayana at that time, they never did it as parents. Could they do? No. They did it knowing them as Supreme Lord, knowing Him as Supreme Lord. Knowing that the Supreme Lord going to be their son. So, otherwise, they cannot offer such high praise to their little son. Vasudeva could not be offering such high praise which are only applicable to the Supreme Lord, none other. To his son, it doesn't work. It becomes rasabhas. It doesn't work that way. But because he knew fully well, is none other than the Supreme Lord Narayana, planning to be appearing as his son. So therefore they just offered all the high praise to Lord Narayana as the Supreme Lord, Supreme Father. But after Lord Narayana made his appearance as Krishna, relatively speaking, Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam means Lord Narayana also coming from Krishna. Okay, so in this way, now the way I am explaining as Tattva, non-different Tattva. Krishna Tattva, Narayana Tattva, ultimately non-different. Okay, in non-difference. So, it doesn't really matter there whether Narayana becoming Krishna or Krishna becoming Narayana. When Krishna comes down to the Vaikuntha level, he takes the form of Lord Narayana, becomes identical with Narayana. At the same time, when Krishna stays in Goloka or Lord Narayana, the highest manifestation, highest conception of Lord Narayana ever manifested as Swayam Bhagavan Krishna on the plane of Goloka, then Narayana is Krishna. Lakshmi Devi is Radharani. Although Lakshmi Narayana coming from Radha Krishna. Radha Krishna as Supreme God and Supreme Goddess. Supreme Goddess and Supreme God. But it is just that. So that Leela also happened there. So that was the reason. So it has to be also understood from the Leela stand. Then we'll understand. Leela and Siddhanta stand. Why? How? Kardama Muni was asking for the permission and blessings from his son. Knowing him to be Supreme Lord. And although apparently that was the real point of my answer to your question. Kardama Rishi appeared to be going away from Lord Kapila. But actually he was coming close to Lord Kapila spiritually. Despite of the fact he was physically going away in the forest to do his duty, to create examples by his own practices. But actually, by doing so, by taking care of that service which he considered necessity for the society, for the benefits of the society, he was actually serving the purpose of Lord Kapila. He was engaged in certain kind of devotional service to Lord Kapila, and he was actually coming close. So he was staying close in spiritual way, spiritual sense, with the Supreme Lord's son Kapila, instead of going away. Although externally it appeared to be he went away. But he went away for what? To fulfill the purpose. To serve a better purpose. Serve certain purpose of Kapila. So although he was going away in the forest to be further engaged in some other aspect of devotional service of none other than Supreme Lord's son Kapila. And by engaging in such devotional service, apparently physically away, he was actually being more close, living more close with his Supreme Lord's son Kapila in spiritual sense, by being inspired by him to do that duty, to do that service. In the similar way, apparently beloved sons and daughters living thousands miles away in the foreign land. Okay, but still, by the nature, I am talking about ideal parents and ideal children. Still, by heart, they are staying so close, living so close with their parents. Although physically, some parents are staying in India, children staying in America or England, thousands of kilometers far. But by heart, by feelings, by spirit, they are staying very close. Spiritual, true closeness doesn't really happen on this mundane plane, but it can happen in a spiritual way, on the spiritual plane in a true sense. So closeness by physical association, closeness by heart's association. Spiritual. Closeness by physical nature, closeness by spiritual nature. Here, Kardama Rishi stayed very close to his Supreme Lord's son Kapila in a spiritual sense. While he was going out to do something which is none other than service to Lord Kapila, fulfilling those injunctions of the scriptures, carrying out with his own example. So he did not really go away. Okay, he worshipped same Supreme Lord Kapila in different way, in different forms, through different aspects by going out in the forest. But still he remained engaged in worshipping his Supreme Lord's son Kapila. He did not go away. Like it is said, real Lord Krishna never leaves Vrindavana. Vrindavanam parittajya padamekam nagacchami. Vrindavanam parittajya padamekam nagacchami. I do not go out of my divine abode Vrindavan, not even one step outside. Padamekam nagacchami. I don't even take one step outside my Vrindavana. My Vrindavan abode is so dear to me, beloved to me. So, I don't actually leave Vrindavana. But still in the Leela we see, Krishna left Vrindavana. Achinta Veda Veda. Krishna left Vrindavana to be enhancing, to be intensifying the Vipralambha Prema in Srimati Radharani and Braja Gopi, Vipralambha Prema in Ma Jashoda. Others, all Brajavasis, residents of the Braja. If you would not apparently go out of Vrindavana, such taste of the Vipralambha Prema, feeling acute, feeling the highest kind of blissful, highest kind of ecstatic experience through the acute pain of love, pain of separation. So such scope would not be created. Some great taste to intensify, to intense love pain caused by separation. It's love pain. It is called as love pain caused by separation. So, in order to give that experience or taste to the Braja Gopis, especially to Srimati Radha Thakurani, Lord Krishna appeared to be leaving Vrindavana. He appeared to be leaving Vrindavana, went elsewhere. But in another form, as Swayanga-rupa, he ever stayed. As the Swayanga-rupa, he ever stayed, eternally stayed beside Swayanga-rupa Radhika. So in one way, they ever stayed besides each other. They never left each other. As Swayanga-rupa and Swayanga-rupa. But other aspects of the Leela, they were separated from each other. Other aspects of the Braja Leela, Mathura Leela, they got separated from each other. And through extreme pain of separation, they became united. That is our Siddhanta. Through the feelings of extreme pain of separation, through the experience of that extreme love pain caused by the separation, they are again united on other dimensions of love union. Therefore, it's called union in separation. Why it is called as union in separation? This is why. Union is a most wonderful union through separation. Union in separation. Okay. Union in union, union in separation. It is not really real separation, although it looks like. By the nature of tattva, from the stand of tattva consideration, they are never separated. They are eternally related. Because by nature of the Supreme Truth, they are also non-different from each other. Radha Purna Shakti, Krishna Purna Shaktiman. Dui Vastu Bhedo Nahi Shastra Paruman. So they are, although they are appearing to be different, but at the same time they are non-distinct. Basically, they are also non-different from each other. Inseparable from each other. He God and she Goddess. One is Rasaraj, another is Mahabhava. One is Swayanga Roop, one is Swayanga Rupa. Swayanga Roop means Swayang Bhagavan, Swayanga Rupa means Swayang Bhagavati. So in the eternal pastimes, they are never separated from each other. Although in a relative way, in order to create the great taste of love, great distinct taste of love, not through union but through mood of separation, painfully loving mood of felt in separation. I repeat, painfully love mood felt only in separation. They created such pastimes. Krishna appeared to be going away from Srimati Radharani Brajagopa Brajagopi, immersing them helplessly, so much immersing them into the infinite ocean of pain, love pain of separation from Krishna. But in the Nitya Leela, Krishna is always there in the Braja. Also have to understand and realize this context in a similar way. Context between Kardama Rishi and Supreme Lord Kapila, or Lord Kapila and Kardama Rishi. It's harmonized, completely harmonized in that way. Achinta Veda Veda. Clear? Very clear? If we do not understand through Achinta Veda Veda, then there will be confusion. Tattva aspect of understanding and Leela aspect of understanding, both combined here. Any worries at the back of your mind, Sakshi Gopal Prabhu? Sorry, for some reason or other, I started discussing in another way in the beginning, but I appreciate you drew my attention to the fact. I made this son as father and son. I placed this son as father, and father as son. But then later I realized there's some conception, true conception as that in Siddhanta also, which I explained. Like Vasudeva never considered Krishna. Vasudeva and Devaki never considered Krishna as their son before Lord Narayana appeared to be Krishna. They simply related to the same son in the form of Lord Narayana as Supreme God, Supreme Lord. Their father figure. But after Lord Narayana manifested as beautiful, wonderful, beautiful form of Krishna, then by influence by Yogamaya, they considered Krishna as son. Still sometimes some opulent memory of the, influence of the memories of almightiness of Lord Narayana, opulence would be reflecting in their mind time to time. They are aware that the son was no ordinary son. None other than Supreme Lord appeared as their son, so they did not forget all the time. So time to time they knew about it. But again, being under the plan, design, influence of the Yogamaya, they become parents and Krishna became son. Therefore Krishna is called as Vasudeva, son of Vasudeva. Devaki Nandana. Both ways. Clear to you, Sakshi Gopal Prabhu? Answer is clear to in the context of question. I know time pressure is creating so much. I'm feeling sleepy, drowsy. Yes. You're all having some taste of peace, so much peace in you, feeling very peaceful and soothed and relaxed, and therefore you are getting sleeping energy. That's how I see it. All becoming so relaxed and soothed. So, falling asleep because of great peace and relaxation. Devotee, you have to judge. We have to look at the mode of sleeping mode or mode of relaxation in that way. But only few are having the eyes open. Okay, chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra.